welcome to the 5 Percenters. I'm Nathan Alibaba. I'm joined as ever by my wonderful co-host Daniela Genus.
Hello.
Every week we discuss an inspiring book that we're reading that advances us towards our goal of becoming a 5 Percenter. This week Daniela and I are reviewing Influence, Dr. Cialdini's Psychology of Persuasion.
Yes.
Just in the way of intro, Influence is the classic book on persuasion. It explains the psychology of why people say yes and how to apply these understandings. Dr. Cialdini is the seminal expert in the rapidly expanding field of influence and persuasion. His 35 years of rigorous evidence-based research, along with a 3-year program of study on what motivates people to change behavior, has resulted in this highly acclaimed book. He reveals 6 universal principles, how to use them to become a more skilled persuader, and how to defend yourself from them. It's perfect for people in all walks of life. The principles of influence will move you towards profound personal change and act as a driving force for your success. Amazing book. Ella, what were your thoughts?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really very interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of the concepts were, I guess, stuff that you kind of know,
Yeah.
but you don't know because it's not been articulated.
Yeah.
When you read it, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That's happened to me before.
Yeah.
I've done it and not necessarily realised that I was doing it. And in terms
Right.
of the insights of, I guess, how I can be more influential or persuasive, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it did, and I was explaining this to Nathan a moment ago, it made me feel a bit uneasy in terms of some of the kind of concepts that he says.
Yeah.
That you, well, he doesn't say you should use them
Yeah.
within business,
Yeah.
but that's kind of...
That's what people will be doing.
Yeah,
But,
and it made me think,
yeah.
that just seems really unethical.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm probably going to do some of these things anyway, but I wish that I hadn't read them because now I'm going to know that I'm doing it. As
So you
opposed
know
to
that you've
doing
been...
them subconscious.
Okay, but why do you think they're unethical? Because these are things that have been used by humans throughout history, like for thousands and thousands of years. And I think what you're saying is that, look, here they are, this is what they are, these 6 things. You have to know them so that you can protect yourself against them when they're used against you. So you know that, because some of the clever things about them, and give me your opinion on this, is that they're so subtle that we don't even know that they're being used against us. But because of the way that we have this predisposition to certain reactions, when people do those things, we automatically react in that way, so you can't even help. It's almost like this involuntary kind of reaction. He has this kind of term where he goes click whir.
Yeah,
like something just happens,
do it,
and you have to do it, right? So I'm taking it more from the perspective of like a marketer and how a marketer can use this to kind of obviously influence.
Well, no, that's also what I was thinking, but then still some of it. So one of the examples that he used, which I thought was really, and just not even using it, just seeing how people's mind works. So he uses this example of a jewellery store that have been trying to get rid of this jewellery for a long period of time and they can't. So they want to cut the price, but instead of saying 50%, it was like times 50%. So it doubled the price. It was accident. Yeah, somebody made a mistake. Yeah. And it sold out.
It sold more.
And I was like, but that's only because people looked and thought, oh, it's expensive, so it must be a great value. Yeah. And it's just such an interesting concept. So then So I find whenever we read these books, I'm always at a point in my business where the book seems to be relevant. It's really weird. So I've been doing the pricing for my services.
Ah, right. And now you're putting all the prices up. And that is highly unethical.
No. Well, this is what I'm saying. So before I read that section of the book, I did the pricing and I was like, oh, that looks really expensive. And actually, that's how much it costs. Yeah. But it still looked quite expensive. So I was thinking maybe I should reduce it a little bit as a kind of introductory offer. Yeah. But then I'm reading the book and I'm like, well, no, actually, leave it.
Put these things up.
Maybe I should increase it.
Maybe you increase it. But it's interesting because the reason he says that works is because life is very complicated and there are lots of things that are happening and we can't process all of them. So he says a lot of the things in life, we need like shortcuts to make decisions. So with the price thing, it's like, price, we've always been taught that price equals value. The higher something and more expensive something is, the more value that it is. Like, we don't have time to investigate, what is the quality of this thing, how is it made, who made it, all the rest of it. If the price is high, it's like, alright, cool, I assume that it must be of a good quality, which makes so much sense, right? So tell me about, so there are the 6 things that he talks about, right? 6 tools of persuasion. Reciprocation, commitment and consistency, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. I probably don't have time to talk about all of them in detail, but I definitely recommend that you should pick up the book and go through them in your own time. So the first one, reciprocation, basically means when we receive a gift, we're compelled to return the favor from someone that has given us a gift, right? So there's like this social obligation that we've inherited from birth. It's like your parents always say, you know, if someone gives you something, what do you say? Say thank you. And so you feel this kind of gift, this kind of need to give something back, right? And if we don't return it, what he says is that it's almost, we feel as though there's like this imbalance in the universe.
Yeah.
We
like
carry it. We're indebted to them.
I owe you a debt of gratitude.
Right.
And the example he used, well, it's funny because when I was reading it, I didn't check who wrote it, so I thought it was a man first. But then there was an example, and it was from a woman, so I was a bit confused. But the lady said that some guy, her car broke down, and some guy came and fixed her car. And then a week later or something came and said, "Can I borrow your car for 2 hours?"
Yeah.
And because he had fixed her car the previous 2 weeks or whatever it was for free, she let him take the car for 2 hours, and he totaled it, and he was underage. Yeah. And it was that strong of a compelling feeling that she had to give him back something. Right. That she ended up having no car. Crazy. Now, when it gets to that level, I think it's ridiculous. I don't think that I would go that far. Yeah. But there is this feeling that someone's done something to me, for me. I'm now indebted to them. Yeah. And I don't like that feeling. It's a horrible feeling. It is a horrible feeling. But until you know that these things exist, you don't know how to protect yourself against them. But he also says you can't protect yourself from it in that perspective. If someone genuinely does something for you out of the goodness of their heart, the thing. Yeah, really, you are obligated to help them if they need help, if you can, within reason. Where he says it becomes a problem. Obligated? Go on. Sorry. Anyway, where he says it becomes a problem is when somebody's doing it for exploitative purposes. Right. So, for example, a marketer. So I don't know if you want to give someone trying to be exploitative. The Hare Krishna example. Right, great example. Yeah, brilliant. Because so the Hare Krishnas are obviously a sect of Indian faith, but Indian religion. So when they were coming to the United States, they wanted to get more people to kind of give to their cause. So a number of them gathered around airports where business people were kind of passing through, and what they would do to solicit donations from passers-by is they would give them like a flower. Even if they didn't want it or whatever, put a flower in their hand, and these people are like, "What? Why don't I need a flower? I don't want a flower." But because they were so persuasive, they were just like, "All right, take the flower." And then in exchange for that, they just put their hand in their pocket because they were in a rush. Put their hand in their pocket and got whatever change that they had, and just gave them some money. And then a few yards down the line, what would happen? This is the funny thing. The people that didn't want the flower found the nearest bin and put the flower in the bin. Then the Hare Krishnas went to that bin, collected all the flowers, and started giving. I'm like, are these people serious? Making a lot of money. Wow. And they strategically place themselves at the airports because people are in a rush. They don't have time. They're frustrated. Yeah. So they just do it. Yeah. And it said that they raised a lot of money. A lot of money. Yeah. So it's funny. Just going back, I wanted to just mention a point that you made earlier about this whole idea of obligation and expensive. This whole idea of charging more. Remember that story where he talked about a guy in the 1930s who was buying a suit. So a guy was buying a suit, and there was another guy in the shop that was helping him try on the clothes or what have you. But the guy acted as if he was hard of hearing, so he would always ask the customer, "Oh, what did you say? Huh? Say that again? Huh? What did you say?" So the customer would have to speak louder. "I want a suit in blue or in black or what have you." Right? So it got to a point now where the customer was like, "Okay, I like this suit. How much does it cost?" So he would shout across the room to his partner, who was obviously in on it, saying, How much does this suit cost, Harry?" And the guy's like, $42. And he said, "Huh?" He said, $42. He said, "Huh?" And he said, he said it again, and he's like, he turns back to the customer and goes, $22. And the customer feels as though he's getting a great deal. So he puts his hand in his pocket and pays, not knowing that the thing isn't worth $22 in the first place.
So that's what.
That's so unethical.
So
but I can't say that.
Terrible. It's terrible, but funny. Like really interesting how these people do this kind of stuff. But now that you have this information, you can choose to use it for good, or you can use it for. It's like the gun. Well, I don't know if the gun can be used for good, but it's like money. No, I'm trying to use an example of something that can be used for good.
The gun's not the one.
It could be used for
Money
good.
Money is a better example.
Money is a better example. It can be used for good. It could also be used for ill.
Well, what he also, within the reciprocation, I guess, topic, he also discusses this idea of, I can't remember how the terminology he uses, but offering something really expensive and outlandish, or asking somebody to contribute or buy or whatever, or coming up with a big idea that you know is going to be shut down, only to work your way down to what it is that you really want. And he uses the example of in the Richard Nixon government.
Yeah.
That this guy wanted to implement some strategies. He wanted to pay for some stuff. So he comes in with this big outlandish idea saying he needs £1 million.
Yeah.
So they say no. Then he says, okay, what about if we do this and this, and it's 500,000, and they say no. And then they say, what we'll actually do is we'll give you 250,000 and go away and do your thing. And they felt that they were help doing him a favour, when actually that's what he wanted to do.
That's what he wanted in the first place. And so going high.
Yeah. And also he went off to cause a lot of problems for the Nixon administration, that's the word. But that was also because he'd gone in so high, by the time they got to 250 grand, they didn't even pay attention to exactly what it was. They just wanted to appease him because actually we've already turned him down so many times. And I don't know about you, has that ever happened to you in a situation?
Where someone, I don't know if it's happened in a situation, but like...
It's happened to me.
Go on.
I will say
what happened?
To me. Like, those people on the streets, the canvassers, they'll come and say, will you give £20 a month? And I'm like, I don't have £20 a month. Okay, how's about you make a one-off donation of £5? Okay.
Shit.
I've done that.
Are you serious?
With
these people have read this book.
And I remember specifically when I did it, it was outside Tesco's in Birmingham on New Street.
Crazy.
And there was like £20 a month, and I was like, I don't have £20 a month. Okay, just make a one-off
£5 donation.
And then once I'd made that one-off £5 donation, then you had to give your phone number. Then they kept sending me messages. Just give another £1. Can you afford £10 today? I had to block the number because it was incessant.
Man.
So when I was reading this, I was like, I remember when that happened.
Brilliant. These people. And the thing is, if they came out to you and just asked you for £5, you would have said no. £5?
No.
Are you mad?
£5 right now.
You know what I mean? But like £20, like, alright, you make a concession. It's like, alright, cool. And that was the other thing.
Oh yeah, that's what he calls it.
Concession, yeah. Reciprocal concession. So, yeah, he said the Boy Scout played a trick on him. So there was this Boy Scout that came up to him and asked him, what did he ask him for? Like, can you buy... Oh, would you be willing to come to...
Yeah, you had to come to the Boy Scout event
place
to know if you won a raffle. So buy raffle tickets.
Some kind of long thing, right? And this guy is like, no.
Yeah, because
he's like, alright, then you want to buy some chocolate bars? Like, it's $1
chocolate bars. They weren't they were expensive. He said it was like $4
yeah. Chocolate bar. And I think he didn't even like chocolate bars. But he bought them as the concession for not going to the thing. Powerful stuff. Okay, commitment and consistency.
See, now this was a really interesting, really, from a psychological perspective, really interesting section.
Go on, talk about it.
He talks about, in the Korean War, the psychological warfare played against the American citizens, or the captives.
Brilliant.
But just very simple things, by getting them to declare something or to commit to something. Small. And then they had to continue it to maintain consistency. For example, they would ask them, do you think America is perfect? No, America is not perfect.
No place
so they
is
had
perfect.
to say it's not perfect. Do you think that the Chinese communism regime may have some benefits? Yeah, it might have some.
Right.
Write it down.
So
then they write it down.
And then they
distribute it. They talk about it on the radio. Now this person can't say,
I didn't say that.
Because actually you did say it. And then it says that the person then, because this is what they've been portrayed as, they have to be seen as consistent. So therefore they actually start to turn to that way of thinking, well actually, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe America isn't that great. And it's just those subtleties that they implemented, and they said they had amazing results with people giving up information. People that have been trained in the military for years to not give up information, just give up the information because they made those subtle changes to their way of thinking.
Brilliant. And if you would have tortured these people and beaten them up, they wouldn't have done it.
Because that's what they were trained against. They weren't trained against
this subtle
And then getting them to enter a competition, essay writing competition. And then the ones that they would let win the essay writing competition, they spoke favourably of America, but they may have put one or two things that seemed slightly sympathetic towards the Chinese agenda. When the prisoners would see that those people won, they would then do the same thing. But again, if every essay has one or two things sympathising with the Chinese regime, but there's 20 of them participating, that's 20 of them that have a slight change in their way of thinking. I thought that was just amazing. I was thinking, I probably would fall for that. Cause if I want the food, I'm going to try and write the essay.
So many times. So can you think about a time where commitment and consistency has actually happened for you? I think it happens so much in life. Like, whatever let's just define what it is. So basically what he's saying is that whatever we commit to, whatever we say publicly or declare, we have a tendency to follow through and commit to, regardless of
whether it's a good idea
or not, because we've kind of put it out there, right? So I'm just trying to think, can you think of any circumstances in your life where that has happened to you? So
my life. So for example, me saying I'm an entrepreneur, one of the, and if I'm going to look at it on a deeper level, one of the specific reasons why I feel that I cannot go and get a job, and this sounds really ridiculous to say
it's true,
is the fact that I publicly
declared it to everybody.
I am an entrepreneur, so where am I going to find myself going and getting a job? It goes against everything I've been saying publicly that I am. So I think, definitely. It's true. You do things rightly or wrongly because you've said that, and you need to be seen as consistent, because if you're not, as he says in the book, people that are seen as inconsistent look like they're crazy.
Wishy-washy. You don't think it's,
And I know people like that. They've said, this is what I'm going to do, and then they go and do something else. And then this is what I'm going to... Well,
do you trust people?
You don't know what you're doing in life. You're confused.
Like, where are you going? Exactly. And you don't want to be viewed as that. And I think from the point of view of just personal development and just this whole journey that we're on at the moment, it's so powerful to say, okay, declare what you want to do. Like, write it down. Tell as many people as you're going to, as you want to. Because then that commits you to it. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a goal or an ambition in life, like, declare it, write it, tell everyone under the sun, this is what you got to do. Because you don't want to be made to look like an idiot when it comes to the point where it's like, okay, well, so what have you done?
But there's two examples that he uses. One is the lady that wanted to quit smoking. So she gave a business card to all of the influential people in her life saying, I will never smoke another cigarette again. And then she said, because she was so... bothered about what they thought, the idea of smoking again and them saying, but I thought you weren't going to smoke again, made her stop, because she couldn't bear the idea of them looking at her unfavourably. So that was one. Then the other one in reverse, which is the most ridiculous story I think I've heard in a while.
The wedding, what? The marriage?
This woman is with this guy, this is the author's neighbour. She's dating this guy, he's a heavy drinker, and he won't commit to marriage. They break up, her ex-boyfriend comes along, perfect guy. Within a short period of time, they get engaged. They're planning their wedding. The old guy comes back and says, actually, I will marry you. I'm not going to drink anymore. Let's get married. She dumps the guy, calls off the wedding, goes back to the old guy, who very quickly said, actually, I don't know about this marriage thing. Maybe we need to give it a while.
Let's think about it.
I don't drink that much, so I'm just going to keep on drinking. And they're saying, when the guy says, when this lady talks about it, she doesn't say, oh, I made a mistake. She says, I'm happier than I've ever been. But she has to, because she has to save fate. It would be ridiculous for her then to split up with the guy again. She has to ride that till the wheels fall off.
True.
And that's because she made a stupid decision, but now she's committed to it, so she has to commit and remain consistent. So psychologically, it can put you in some very bad situations, but it can also be very beneficial.
Look, we've been talking about this for a long time now, and there are like 4 more to go, so I don't think we're going to have the time to go through the rest of them. But it's a great book, right? Just, for the rest of them, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity, all really good explanations about actually how to use them as a marketer or as a business person to influence.
Oh, can I just give one more example? Because I love this example.
Okay.
The Christmas toys. The author says he goes to a toy shop for a second year in a row and sees somebody there that he doesn't ever see. The only time he saw them was the same time the previous year. What was interesting is it's always after Christmas, when really you've already spent all your money on toys for your kids. You shouldn't be buying any more toys. He's relaying this story to someone, saying how strange I saw this guy just after Christmas. And the guy used to work for a toy shop. He said, it's not strange at all. They've done it to you. He said, what the toy shops do, because they know after Christmas, there's going to be a lull in sales because everybody's spent all their money before Christmas. They start to advertise before Christmas a really amazing toy. Then what they do is they don't distribute enough to the stores. So their kids will see the adverts and say, Daddy, I want this for Christmas. Yeah. The parents will say, yes, I promise I'll get it to you. They go to the store doesn't have it. You then have to still buy something to make up for it, a consolation gift. Yeah. But then after Christmas, the adverts for that toy come back and say, all stores are now stocked. The child comes back and says, Daddy, you promised me you was going to get this for me for Christmas and you didn't. So now you're back in the store buying this gift. And I was like, that is... And
genius.
I guess it kind of is... Although it's not in the scarcity section, it kind of is that thing. If you make something scarce, people will want it more because it's not available.
I wrote down,
I just thought it was
no fucking way is this possible. They undersupply to get you in the shop and then you buy and then get you to come back. Yeah. I was like, unbelievable.
It's a very, very powerful tool. When I read it, I'm like, what? Whoever came up with that is a genius.
Genius.
That makes so much sense.
Brilliant. Really.
See, whereas I'm ignorant, obviously not with kids stuff, but I know that that's been done to me for other things, not for kids' toys specifically. If it's not there, I just don't want it anymore because I'm not coming back, and that's just like...
Okay, but if you promise someone, and it goes back to this whole idea of commitment, because they keep the parent committed to the child, I will get you this thing.
So now I have to.
Now you have to. So clever. So clever. Anyway, so let's bring it to an end. What would you, critiques?
I don't think I had any critiques. It's long. It's quite a long book.
Yeah. It's like...
But it's long and interesting. It reminded me of the my other favourite book. It's not my favourite ever, but the one that I found equally interesting.
Millionaire Fast Lane?
No, the Malcolm Gladwell Outliers.
That wasn't
the
long.
Same kind of... No, I don't mean the length. I mean the same kind of structure.
Okay.
So introducing the concept and then just providing lots of different examples to demonstrate the concept, which I thought was excellent. I like that style of book. So I don't really have any negative criticism.
I
and it's very well written, easy to follow,
easy to read,
interesting, engaging, makes you think, funny in many parts, very honest. So he uses the examples of when these things have happened to him, and some of them were ridiculous. Why did you let that happen? So the honesty aspect I thought was really good as well.
Really good, yeah. Okay, rating.
I'd give it a 9. I don't know. I feel like I can't give 10s.
Why can't you give 10s?
I don't know.
You've given some questionable 10s. In my opinion.
Questionable? What did I give a 10?
Questionable 10s.
I gave the Outliers a 10.
You gave that last dude a 10.
Jack Delosa.
No,
I didn't.
You did.
I didn't.
You did.
Did I?
It was a 10.
You sure I didn't give a 9?
No,
I feel
it was
like
10.
It was a 9.
You said it's the most fantastic book you've ever read. I'm like, really? I'm like, word?
I feel
really?
like lying. I'm going
no,
to
seriously, you did a 10.
I don't think that I did. I think you're mistaken.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, alright. I'll show you after this.
No, I think I'll give it a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you can't give out 10s.
Basically.
Okay. Give it a 10. I can't give it less than that. It's brilliant. Like, one of the best books I've ever read, I think. And I'm disappointed I hadn't read it earlier because I feel as though it's been around for a long time, you know, and like a lot of people refer to it and have talked about it, and I've just never been on my radar. I'm glad that I finally read it now, but it's, really good book. What's the next book that we're reading?
Jim Rohn, 7 Strategies for Health and Wealth. No, for Wealth, Health and Happiness.
Okay. Jim Rohn's great.
I've heard fabulous things.
Yeah. So I don't think we'll be disappointed. So stay tuned for that. We're looking forward to that. Thank you very much for your time, Daniela. Thank you very much for your time, everybody. Remember, your success is something that you generate through the person that you become. So become the best possible version of yourself. Thank you.
Bye.